Good evening. My name is Tatiana, and today I am going to share with you this reading. In this case, is about um, professional service. Okay, what professional service fear most to do drive? When the going gets tough, companies often get desperate. So it should be no surprise that during the coronavirus pandemic and the concomitant economic crisis, professional service firm PSFs have been chasing after all kinds of business just to keep the like one. We see this over and over. Consultants, law firms, accounting firms, and the like offering service and signing up claims they should never have considered. This approach to shoring of billings is perilous. If a PSFS constituent practice are defaults in their strategic positioning or mix of claims, the fear ends up with a weak market profile, internal conflicts, and decision among the leadership about the firm future direction. Conversely, if the practice are disciplined about their positioning and their client's portfolio, the fear becomes stronger than the sum of its parts. In this article, we'll provide a framework that shows of PSF leaders can proactively position their practice and manage their client mix. The link between clients, capabilities, and strategy. At industrial or commercial companies, senior leaders can outline a strategy for a division and marshal support to execute it. But the top-down approach doesn't work in PSF because of the fluid and constantly evolving nature of the PSF's two strategies ascent, its professional and its clients. Practice ability to deliver value to clients reads on the skills of its professional and the skill set of those professional affects the choice of clients and in turn the clients being served affect the development of the professional skills. The strategy of a practice 34 is tightly linked to its clients and the professional serving them. One practice here affects the clients it can serve. The client it serves affect how the skill of its professional evolve, how the skill that evolves affect the clients the practice can occur in the future, and the cycle keeps repeating. Practice leaders can use two tools, the practice spectrum and the client's portfolio metrics, to access track and make adjustments to the development and deployment of professionals and the management of the client's portfolio and thus achieve lasting superior performance. These tools are based on our research over the past 2 decades. More than 2 dozen cases on PSFs that we have read and are discussing with several thousand PSF leaders. The practice spectrum. According to our college, Jack Gabbaro, were built on the ideas of forming HBS Professor David Meister. PSF practice fall on a spectrum of sophistication that range from commodity to procedure to gray hair to rocket science. Social fall practice are clear about their position on this spectrum. The professional serving spectrum. A commodity practice helps clients with relatively simple routine problem by providing economical, expedient, and error-free service. The big three Indian outsourcing giants, Wipro, TCS, and Infosys have gained scale and recognition while operating at this end of the spectrum. A procedure practice offers a systematic approach to large, complicated problems that may not be cutting edge, but require attention to a plethora of consideration. Accenture's technology consulting practice has long been an archetypal example of this. A gray hair practice provides seasoned counsel based on experience. Consulting firms like McKinsey, for instance, aftermarket their strategy development advice to clients by knowing that they have guided similar corporation through strategic exercises. A rocket science practice address idiosyncratic with the company problems that require the expertise and creative problem solving. An example is this merger and acquisition practice of the boutique law firm Walsh Lipton, famed for its cutting edge work for business, firing hostile takeover bids. Although a practice profile can extend across more than one type, we have found that the best performing practice have a shared focus. Clients know what service should practice offer. Practice leaders which performance levers to pull and recruit what type of work they will do. A default profile deloads a practice identity and renders it a jack of all trades and a master of none. Plotting a practice profile on the spectrum enables its leader to understand how to manage the practice, diagnose any misalignment, and shift this positioning if needed. It is important to note, however, the practice profile changes demands of the business and the everyone chains. During the 2917, the new form strategy consultants Boston Consulting Group now were in to compete hit on which incumbents like McKinsey show to position himself more as a rocket science than a gray hair practice. Unlike McKinsey, which offered experience-based, judgment-driven advice, Bitsy give or the advice that drew on innovative empirical models such as its growth, share matrix, and experiencing curve. By the 2980s, BCH had become more of a gray hair practice. The transition, okay. By the 1980, BCG had become more of a gray hair practice. The transition was driven in part by its leaders' recognition that rocket science practice, however successful, tend to remain small. BCG aspired to a growth rate and say the world provide ample career opportunities to its professional, the relevant organizational capabilities, professional skills, and impact of profitability levers vary across categories. Practice leaders must ensure that actor elements are aligned with the practice position on the spectrum. Recruitment and development. A rocket science practice strategies assets are brilliant, creative professional who deliver innovative solution. Do their leaders care whether their recruits' intellect is complemented by social grace? Not necessarily. The head of one rocket science legal practice described its approach to her in this way. We are not looking for polished visuals who comes across a well-rounded and sophisticated. We seek to hear explaining speaks individuals who have extraordinary abilities on the dimensions that matter to us. Gray are practicing with counselors whose judgment and tailored advice reflect wisdom gleaned from experience. Where are short professional recruits? Usually not literally from other firms, because they may bring with the approaches and attitudes inimical to a practice culture. Instead, this practice usually recruiting individuals with an aptitude for growing gray hair quickly. As the director of one strategy consulting firm to lose, McKinsey for instance, typical here to graduates of premier professional schools. Academic success demonstrates an ability to absorb and analyze information, consider it from the different perspectives, and articulate one's views coherently. It predicts that someone can learn quickly from experience with senior parents and clients and develop judgment that he or she can apply in consulting engagements. Recruits are not only trained in the nuts and bolts of consulting work, but also inculcate with the firm more, particularly those related to client service. Bien, entonces aquí hablamos de qué deben hacer las empresas de servicios profesionales para prosperar. Entonces, ante la crisis económica, se habla que ante la crisis económica que dejó la pandemia del coronavirus, muchas empresas persiguieron todo tipo de negocios como para mantener sus luces encendidas, sus posibilidades de negocios. Entre esas se encontraron consultorías, bufetes de abogados, bufetes de contabilidad y similares que ofrecían servicios profesionales. Las capacidades de un consultorio para ofrecer valor a los clientes depende de las habilidades de sus profesionales y a su vez viceversa, los clientes que se atienden afectaban las habilidades de dichos profesionales. Entonces, por lo tanto, la estrategia de un consultorio estaba estrechamente relacionada con sus clientes y sus profesionales que lo atendían. Por eso muchas empresas entonces crearon estas estrategias de estos servicios profesionales para prosperar. Eso era básicamente lo que hablaba pues este artículo, basado como en esas estrategias que muchas empresas optaron ante la crisis económica que dejó esta pandemia, basándose pues como en estos servicios profesionales para ofrecerle a los clientes también con habilidades y aptitudes que ellos buscaban. Bueno, compañeros y profesor, espero esto les hubiera sido de algún modo útil y hasta una próxima vez.